Um, in this age of the internet, where we can communicate instantaneously with people on the other side of the world, we can send letters that arrive almost before we send them. It's not like the old days where we could always say the check is in the post and it would take weeks and weeks and weeks. Letters arrive immediately. And I think sometimes we forget what tremendous strides, what tremendous developments have been made in the past century, approximately 150 years at least. There was, how many of you have heard of a man called Morse? His name was Samuel Morse, and he lived from 1791 until 1872. That's right, 1872 he died, which was what? Only about 130 years ago. He invented something called the Morse code, which was a way of transmitting electric signals down a line so that you could actually communicate from one side of the country to the other. And the Morse code is actually a series of dots and a series of dashes, like that. So dot, dash, dash was the letter A. If you'd had a dash, dot, 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 that was the letter B. If you wanted to do the letter C, it was dash, dot, dash, dot. And if you wanted to do the letter D, it would be dash, dot, dot. People became so good at this that they actually, it was a little bit like handwriting. When they listened to the dot, dash, dot, dash, dot, 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 dee, 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 like that, they could actually tell who was sending it, because the way they pressed and where they made their dots and dashes was just like handwriting. Quite fantastic. Another sort of alphabet that we don't think about very often is Braille. Let me see if I can find it in this book of mine. Here. When was Braille developed? I hope you can see this on the picture. It says here, Braille is a system of writing that uses raised dots punched into paper or plastic. It enables people with little or no vision to read with their fingers. The system was invented in the first half of the 19th century by a man called Louis Braille. He was a Frenchman who himself, he'd been blind since the age of 3. Now the Braille system is not quite like the dots and dashes of the Morse system. It's a system of 6 dots. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. But that way they give all the letters of the alphabet. So if you look here, I don't know if you can see, you have a big dot and you have 6 smaller dots. That's the letter A. You have 2 big dots and 4 smaller dots. That's the letter B. And blind people can run their fingers over the letters like this, and they can read with their fingers very quickly as well. Another way of sending messages is Semaphore. You remember in the old days, before they had radio, ships at sea or people a fair distance away from each other used flags, and the way they held the 2 flags indicated which letter they were trying to transmit. So you can see here in his left hand he's holding the flag straight down, in his right hand a little bit like a clock, and it goes round like this, and they use the different flags in different positions. So in this way, using the signals, they can go from A, B, C all the way to X, Y, Z by using flags around the clock. So it's not only the Chinese who have used pictures to spell. Even we have used different ways to write our letters. We've got Morse, we've got Braille, and we've got Semaphore. And I'm sure there are lots of other ways. Maybe even smoke signals, but I don't know enough about that. But perhaps I'll find out. If I find out about smoke signals, I'll tell you all about them. Talk to you again tomorrow.